Hi there, my name is Steve Gearhart, and this is the Unagi Observer. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this week. This week is going to be kind of a short one. I'm just going to do a really quick manga review, and it is the famous horror mangaka Junji Ito and his story collection called Smashed. So I'm sure we've all heard of the horror mangaka Junji Ito. He's done a lot of stuff over the years. He was born in the early 60s, 1963 I think, and he's made short story collection after short story collection, manga like this, and he's done very well for himself over the years. Uzumaki, which is supposed to come to Adult Swim at some point, is kind of what led me to want to look at his stuff. I've heard of the guy, and I've read a couple of his things, and I enjoyed them. And some of it's, a lot of it's, of what I've seen has been body horror and kind of like jealousy kind of stuff, and revenge kind of stories. So I kind of wanted to get a little bit more of a sense of him and his work. So I started looking at some of his story collections, and I started with, of course, Smashed. I got this at my local library. So again, libraries are wonderful. You can actually go there and get a book for free. Check it out, see if you like it, and go from there. So he has a very, as you can tell, interesting art style. Here's another. Let's look at another picture here. Kind of gruesome, definitely horror, provocative, I think is the word. And so if you like horror, like I do, certain types of horror, I don't like things like Higurashi, where I'm watching a small child chunk her head onto a Santoku knife over and over again. That's not a thing I enjoy. But other things, other horror kind of stories I like. And as I said before, I'm familiar with other stories of his, and I am looking forward to Uzumaki when it finally comes onto Adult Swim. So I read this, and what I discovered was that this was a combination of two things. And the latter half of the book is about a storyline about Soichi, which is this kind of evil little character, not quite a yokai, but with magical powers, and he runs this haunted museum with people that he captures, and he basically tortures them, and anybody who enters pays him an absorbent amount of money, and then they go insane or they disappear. And he has a monster for his son, and his family, who he doesn't like, is roped into it. So that's the second half of the book, is a bunch of stories about that, and that's a continuous storyline throughout his work. It's a character that comes up, and it's a character who can grow nails in his mouth and then spit them out. It's kind of odd. So that is kind of neat and unusual, and while I'm enjoying it, it's okay. That particular storyline reminds me of the comic book Nosferatu. And if you ever get a chance to read that, do read that. It's about basically taking innocent people in and then turning them into demons. And that's kind of Soichi's thing. That's what he does. So, what's the other half of the book? The other half of the book is basically ghost stories, and which are fine if you like that kind of thing. It's the kind of story you tell, that ends with, and there was a bloody hook on the car at the end, kind of thing. So that's kind of what the stories are like. And so, while the art is always impressive, I've always enjoyed his art. The stories were okay. But in a happy, nostalgic way, it reminded me of the old EC horror comics, where it was really not about scaring you, but it was about, ooh, what's going to happen, so we're just going to build up to what's going to happen and, enjoy the blood and gore, right? So that's kind of what this is. If you're a true horror fan, if you like to experience all levels of different horrors, this book is pretty good for you. I think you'll enjoy that. I really do. If you are looking more for along the lines of, deeper horror, deeper psychological horror, deeper body horror, this particular volume may not do it for you, but other pieces of his work will. So it's a mixed bag. For me, it was a mixed bag. For a person who wants to get into horror, probably not the worst thing to look at. So, again, this is one of the things where I say, this is why we have public libraries, so that you can not have to buy this book for, what did this go for from Viz Media? $22.99. So you don't have to pay $22.99. You can just get it for free, check it out, and see if you like it. So check out, see if your library has it, and give it a whirl and see if you want to continue. In any event, I am still looking forward to the Uzumaki anime that's supposed to be coming out here pretty soon. So there it is. So that's it for Junji Ito's smashed horror story collection of manga. So give it a try and see what you think. So COVID's still a thing, Delta variant is out there. Make sure that you mask and that you social distance. And also, if you've gotten your first shot of your vaccination, get your second shot. If you haven't gotten any shots, please do so, because once we get over the hump of this thing, then we get to see each other for real at in-person conventions, which are a lot of fun. You know, Otakon is back in business, yay! And people are saying that they had so much fun seeing each other. So let's get to that point, all right? So anyway, thanks for watching again. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.